AI generated podcast.
Today we're talking about AI generation. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah. No, seriously, that's great.
Yeah. So, I'm going to start this off by presenting you guys with a script that was completely written for a podcast idea by this AI generated in about 5 seconds. All I asked it was, write me a short podcast script about the importance of mental health.
Wow.
And this is, look at it.
Oh,
look
it wrote a whole script.
Can I read this?
Oh, I was going to read it out loud. Yeah. Okay, so this is a script that was completely generated by AI within 5 seconds on my phone just by asking it to do
You're
so.
smarter than this.
All right, so I'm going to read this script really quick. I haven't overread it yet, but I'm sure it's actually going to be pretty solid, especially for something that took me 3 seconds asking for it, 5 seconds to write. That's crazy. So, hello and welcome to Mind Matters Podcast. Today we're going to be discussing the importance of mental health. Mental health is often overlooked, but is just as important as physical health. In fact, our mental health can have a huge impact on every aspect of our lives, including our relationships, work, and overall well-being. Unfortunately, mental health issues are still stigmatized in many parts of the world, which can make it difficult for people to seek help when they need it. This is why it's so important to break the stigma and start talking openly about mental health. Taking care of our mental health involves things like managing stress, getting enough sleep, eating a healthy diet, and finding time to relax and recharge. It's also important to have a strong support system of friends and family to turn to when you're feeling overwhelmed. If you or someone you know is struggling with a mental health issue, it's important to remember that you are not alone and that help is available.
Okay, at what point are kids in high school just going to stop writing papers, type this
That's
in?
what I'm saying.
What's the point of writing
You
a
could
paper
even do
anymore?
that today is the crazy thing.
Yeah,
Like,
and
my God.
this is really well written. This is just a straight up script for a video. I could literally sit down,
Read this.
read this, and be good. Upload it on YouTube and be good, and that's it.
Is this plagiarism?
No,
How
can you plagiarize a bot?
But it's not your own creation.
but the thing is that's what the program was designed for. The people
This is
created
true.
the
This is true.
program
Yeah.
to
Give
do
that.
this, right? I can probably even ask me to write me a whole rap song, and I could just rap it. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's going to come out better than 21.
Yeah. More better than half the rap out there.
Pants off, you know.
Oh my gosh.
But
I
it's
suck dick
insane.
like a flute. What?
It's insane.
Like, it's insane how commonplace it is, but a lot of people don't realize how commonplace. I didn't even know that these AI can do crazy things.
Well,
like
it's
this.
like in the last couple months, AI generated stuff has really exploded, you know,
Yeah.
and it's also
Even with the
caused
pictures right
a
now.
lot of controversy because there's a lot of artists out there that spend time, they work hard
Yeah.
and stuff on these things.
Quarter
And you-
Digital talked about this. Sam
Yeah.
talked about this a lot. He was like, oh no, it was Nico. Sorry, he talked about it. It was like, is this art? Can you use this? Can you claim this? Can you put a price on this? Can you sell this? Right? Because you're not actually creating anything. Just kind of like the script there, right? We're not actually creating anything. We're just reading something that was created for
Yeah,
us.
it's just getting generated, and I think that's like the interesting part. I don't know the laws on it, right? I don't know the laws of how this is going to work, especially because it's all new. But I think that anything that is created under these generators should fall under fair use and like the common creative license, because you cannot, for one, you shouldn't be able to monetize art that's being AI generated.
No.
It has to just be something that's for use for everyone, because then what happens is you have this thing where it's like, if an artist has actually spent time, skills, and effort to write and draw their art, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like they charge for it, and you should get paid for all that work you do. Well, someone could just come in and just generate a bunch of AR and like, oh, I'm taking commissions, and then just type it in like, oh, he wants a white-haired girl with a big ass and the anime style. Boom, there you go.
Yeah.
5 seconds.
I wonder how far we're gonna push AI until it becomes sentient.
As far we're
it's
going to do
from
that.
my understanding, it's already sentient.
That's kind of my thought process, because even if you look at like Google itself, Google is like this giant conglomerate of us inputting information into it, and it like it's constantly thinking. Google is probably one of the most alive like robots we've ever created.
Like, we're living in Terminator, just the nukes haven't dropped yet. That's all. That's it, basically.
There's not a face to the
Google
AI. I
is
think that's
what was the Skynet.
Skynet.
Yeah.
It's Terminator pre-Skynet takeover.
And
Yeah.
we're all cyborgs. Like, we all use technology so much.
Yeah,
We're
it kind of
constantly-
becomes
I'm tracking
implemented
my
into
heartbeat
you.
right
Yeah.
now, right? My steps, my sleep schedule, right? Our phone does all that for us. It's incredible.
It is. It's insane to
It's
like
the
where
next
it's getting.
step of evolution, I think. I
Yeah.
think that would be like, but I'm like, when it comes to that, I'm very simpleton. When I'm like, oh, you know, caveman-like, you know, and I like it. It makes my life easier, makes my life simpler.
I think that's the whole point. And like using a tool like this, honestly, while there is people that are worried about it, and I understand the concerns, I actually love it. Because here's the thing, especially in the content creator world, having a tool like this is fucking amazing. Sometimes you just don't have ideas for videos. Sometimes you run out of ideas. You can go in when you're stuck in you know, you have fog or creator block, writer block, or whatever, and you can just ask it for help. And even if you don't copy the script one for one, it can just give you ideas.
It can give you the base idea.
And
then you can always tweak and modify it
exactly.
It's already better than humans, because even that script is probably has proper punctuation, correct?
Yes, it's immaculate.
Commas, exactly.
Commas, well-being, like you can see,
so
like
as someone who doesn't know proper syntax or like proper sentence structure or anything like that, right? If I used, and we do this like because they have like all the writing aids and stuff like that, that can only help you so much because there's human error.
Yeah.
As soon as you hand it off completely, there's no more human error. Just like in League of Legends, right? You download scripts, you're better than you could ever be.
Yeah.
Okay?
Scripts plays Earth profit.
You take out the human error. It's like, don't step over there.
Yeah.
You step, it's like, no,
it's like playing Fortnite on PC with a controller. You have aim assist, so you no longer actually have to aim because it just does it for you, and you always fucking lose to those people.
Taking humans out of the world. I think, dude,
that thing's more literate than half the country. Let's just be real. It really is.
Yeah, I would say 70%, 73%.
Oh, that's depressing. 70%. It's probably not wrong.
It's smarter. It's faster. That was, 3 seconds it generated.
All I had to do, and I asked for a short script, you know, and it was still just like a few paragraphs, written perfectly, covered the topic. There you go. You have your whole video right there. And I've been in this situation before a lot, especially with when it came to like Ziah TV, and in these last few months with trying to come up with ideas as we switched our content around, as we thought of different things. If I knew about this, or if this came out while I was that, it would have been so much easier to have those ideas to work on those videos, because I can just been like, I want to kind of make a video about this, or give me some like topics or some ideas. And there you go. And then like that, because oftentimes what people don't realize, and I've seen this a lot because in like the music making space, right? There's like rhyme dictionaries, and it's like pretty split. Half the people are against it, half the people are not against it. And my thing was, I was never against rhyme dictionaries, because at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, you know those words. It's not like it's telling you anything you don't know, right? Like if I want to rhyme the word zone, you know, you can find, like, you can think of words like that. Throne, zone, phone, moan. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you might not think of it right there in that minute.
There in the minute.
So you just type it in, and then you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. Right.
Oh, I
phone
like this.
With it.
Oh,
yeah,
this has this meaning. And then you try to branch it off and then build a bigger picture in the back. Yeah.
It's just using tools available to you. You know, so that's really what it is.
Have you heard of, like, Elon Musk's, like, brain chip idea?
No, I haven't.
I feel like I've heard about it. At the same time, it doesn't surprise me.
This coffee's delicious, by the way.
It's incredible.
What'd you get?
Oh, it's like mocha truffle bowl crap. Whatever.
It's delicious. Is what it is.
Dark cup latte. Yeah. So the idea is it's just taking the phone aspect out of it, because your thumbs are slow, right? And then hooking your phone pretty much directly into your brain, because your brain is a lot faster than your thumbs are.
So I was a bit. Wasn't there like that happened in some type of media that I just watched recently, where that's essentially what the phones were, and that was just in your head, and then you know.
I mean, that's like Futurama. That's like
they do that
Star
a lot.
Wars, the Clone Wars. That's like Cyberpunk. I mean,
you just screens right here. Yeah.
The idea of having AI or computer chip brains is not new. It's just becoming more of a reality.
And with how much memory our brains store, our brains are the greatest like memory storage device in the world. That and plants, I believe. We can take in more data. So the problem is our processor is slow, so we need to increase our processor, being our thumbs, right?
Yeah.
Increase more information intake, and then we could become smarter. And legitimately smart. If everyone had all the access to the internet, it wouldn't be a debate anymore. It'd be like, yes, 1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be like, oh, I don't think it's no. There would be no more debate. Is that crossing into a line of like losing free will?
I think that my problem with that, the biggest problem with that is that we already have a society that is losing personality in and of itself.
100%.
9 times out of 10, when you're having a conversation with people, almost everything they say nowadays is just regurgitated. Like people just communicate, and just regurgitated, rehearsed. Like, there's no like free thinking, and that's the problem. Is like, and I've been in situations with whether it be like past relationships or just anybody where people lack problem solving skills to an insane level. They get met with an issue, and the first thing they do is look at me, and they just give up. I'm like,
and they latch on to these memes.
Just once,
please.
Well, yeah. But we latch onto these memes and these quotes, and it's like stay toxic, dog. You know, like we latch onto a lot of our personality from the internet, and a lot of people like they either take like a very conservative like lifestyle because it, you know that's what they see in media, or that's what they see online, or that's what their parents talked about. But we're already programmed, and I completely agree, right? Because we're already programmed to kind of take in media and then adjust your personality to that media. That if we had all the media, we just do the same thing. We have all the media right now. We just choose what we want to listen to and what we don't want to listen to. But I hope if we have all the information that we become smarter and honestly, hopefully a little bit more community.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
That's kind of far-fetched because I feel like as time has gone by and media and electronics and internet and stuff has gotten more advanced, like people have just gotten stupider. Because since there isn't as much facial interaction, there's not as much actual problem solving happening. People don't develop those skills. They just rely on the technology. And then when you rely too heavily on the technology, you stop thinking for yourself in that sense. So
would you though?
I would think so, yeah. I
think we would just be met with less problems because we would already have a solution prior to then having the problem.
I think that there's two sides of the coin, especially with like what you guys are talking about, because you're both making points. Yeah, 100%. And the thing about it is there's really one of two ways that it could go, you know, where either it does help society and people can use this newfound almost superpower at that point to have like a better society, but then you kind of get to the territory of creating like a utopia almost, right? And then that has its own implications. Or the other side of it is that you do basically create utopia, but everyone's basically a robot now.
Yes, that's like the idea of losing free will. But I think with how the media is already manipulated, right, there will still be a manipulation of media and data and information. So then what you choose to receive, right, I think people are more ignorant than stupid. That what we're ignorant to look at then is down to the human, right? So you still have the free choice to be ignorant, and humans are going to be ignorant for the rest of their lives. That's how we are. But if you have all the information in front of you and you choose to be ignorant,
I think the biggest problem with it when it comes down to it is it's not when like it first starts, right? Because like let's say that this happens in like 5 years, whatever. I'm not saying this is a realistic timeline.
We should all live till the year 2070. We should live that.
Cyberpunk 2077. Let's go.
Yeah,
let's go. We don't want to be in that. Don't want to live in that.
See, you brought up. Okay, this is the thing that you really got to accept and swallow, and it's not that. It's the two sides of the same coin. They are, but it's not one or the other. It's the same coin, and they're both going to happen.
It's going to happen.
The idea, for anyone who has not watched Cyberpunk, what it basically is, it's a futuristic utopia that, you know, there's all this technology. These people have, they're, you know, organic bodies that have been cyber enhanced. The problem with that, though, is that while on one hand their bodies have been cyberly enhanced, the quality of life of everything around them just went to shit. That's the thing. It's not one or the other. Both of these realities are gonna happen.
They're gonna happen.
It's not a train you can stop. It's just it's gonna go on forever.
I think that we have in the last 10 years, it's just been this beautiful increase of technology in our lives. And I think if we look 10 years in the future, we are going to be so much farther ahead than we think we will be.
Well, technology, you cannot stop technology.
There was a statistic that came out. And I forgot if it's I want to say 4 years. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. But every 4 years, technology
doubles. Something like that.
Yeah. I think that's a commonly thought of.
Terminator will happen. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when and how bad will it be. Are we going to have actual Armageddon, or are we going to have a couple of homicidal, like, cyberpsychosis freaks? It's either of those things are possible, and one of them will happen. It's just which one will actually happen.
We have so many real life, I want to say psychos. I will say psychos. Psychos, like school shooters. We have constant shooting issues.
The thing is, though, is that school shooting is generally a problem just for the States. So it's not really fair to say. Like, it does happen in other countries, but it doesn't happen anywhere near as often.
Yes, and I do think there are a lot of aspects.
Like,
that go into
this particular country's got a problem with school shooting.
This state has a murder issue.
Yeah.
This state has it. And we hide
and
that.
no one talks about it.
Yeah.
Look, I did not know about that. We have a murder issue?
Half the cases that come across my desk, murder cases. We got one today. We closed two like this last weekend, and we got one more this morning. And it's ridiculous. It's constant.
And Oregon tries to hide it because Oregon is supposed to be looked at as like a great place to retire, to bring like your family and stuff, to chill, have like a more relaxed life.
Yeah. All drugs are decriminalized.
It's a retirement state.
Yeah,
this is a retirement state.
Then, you know, when you have an incredibly high murder rate, it doesn't look good for your retirement state, you know? And so there's like this, but that kind of goes with what we're talking about is like, the thing is regardless of what you want to believe or not, you are still being controlled to some level because of any type of information or propaganda that you're exposed to.
Bias
and
huge.
It is. Damn, they talking real good.
I like that picture. But like, it is so programmed in that information bias, right? To then not go experience or go enjoy other cultures or, you know.
Yeah.
Any of that. That's horrible.
Not only that, it's, I mean, you got lots of problems. You have information bias. A big one is cognitive dissonance, like straight up. Yeah. And it's
explain that.
Okay, so cognitive dissonance is the idea that like you cannot accept new information that challenges your beliefs. Like your beliefs, your core, especially in the States. And the reason why is because the States is a very individualized country. Like, it's about what me and what I want, and the hell with everybody else. It's what's best for me. And then so when you put,
this is not a new idea too.
This is not a new idea.
Created by Plato. It's called Plato's cave allegory. Right. This has been around for a long fucking time. Like, and he even proved this was a real thing because he sent people out to talk about this, and they got murdered. And he's like, oh, look, you don't like new information, so you kill people.
Exactly. Yeah, that type. Yeah. No, I mean, that's basically the idea. Is cognitive dissonance is like, we'll use the guy with he wants to punch towel heads, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say you told him an idea of like all, you know, Arab, Islamic, whatever type people are terrorists. And he said that, and you're like, well, that's stupid as hell, because logically speaking, not 100% of everybody could be a terrorist, right? And then you showed him the statistics. I can't say that word. You show him the papers, the statistics, you show him the numbers of like, and it says some bullshit. I'm just going to throw a bullshit number. 99% of all these people are not terrorists. Let's just say you had a document and you showed it to him. And he's like, nah, I don't believe that. That's crap. That's fake. That's cognitive dissonance because it challenges his belief system.
And I think that comes from, and I'm going to throw this in here, this is going to be a hot fucking take, but I think that comes from a lot of Christianity bias. It's going to get us canceled right here. But Islamic religion is the largest religion in the world, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised.
It is.
Yeah.
It's the Middle East. It's India. Parts of Asia have it, right? Americans, we have Islamic, Muslim individuals in America.
Africa too has
Africa,
a lot of Muslims. Yeah.
Okay, and it all comes from because there was this huge split with Judaism and Muslims, and then Christianity came out of Judaism, and it's incredible to see that there's so much hate towards the biggest religion in the world.
Well, this is kind of an interesting standpoint.
This is my hot take.
And I'm not saying that people shouldn't hate, or should hate. I mean, that's...
people should not hate.
Yeah, sorry, mix of words. Okay, because for those who don't know, I'm from Christian background, yeah? And see, the reason why I'm assuming that people, like, hate that, you know, that religion, any other religion that's not Christianity, is because the Bible is supposed to be, like, the Word of God, yeah?
Yes.
And in the Bible, it says that you do not worship false gods, like false prophets.
Yeah.
So if you just took that by the book, like, just that's what it says, it could be turned as like, okay, so you don't worship any other religion. Yeah, you don't worship anything else, idolize, you know, on a godly state.
Yeah.
Anything else other than Christianity. Yeah. So that's why. Now, I'm not saying that should be true.
That was written in the Old Testament, which is the Jewish book. So no,
I'm not saying at all that should be true. No, that's fucked up. No, you shouldn't be hating on anyone for different beliefs or anything like that.
100% accept everything and just take in information and be like, okay, that doesn't really apply to me, and you let it leave your life. That's
exactly.
So this is really interesting, and I'm glad you brought that up. This is like a sidebar. It's like adjacent.
Sorry, real quick. For the record, I do not hate Christians. It's just very popular in America. So
I don't hate Jewish people.
Yeah, don't hate.
There you go.
We don't hate here.
Cool.
Yeah.
You see this? You see the skin tones on this group? Yeah, we don't.
We're very racially diverse. So this is really interesting, right? If you guys are familiar with the Mandela Effect, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, the Mandela Effect.
Watching some of those things today.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a very interesting concept. If you don't know, a Mandela Effect, basically what it is that there is a generally widely accepted thing that everyone has the same memory about, like it's this way, right? And a really popular one is Darth Vader saying, "Luke, I am your father." Right? Everyone, that's what people remember is like, "Luke, I am your father." It's been written, it's on t-shirts and everything. But when you go back and watch it, he says, "No, I am your father."
I am your father. And I actually remember the "No, I am your father."
Yeah, and so you have a percentage of people that like are like, "No, I remember the no," but then like it's why is the majority of people remembering it as "Luke, I am your father"? Why is it on t-shirts? Why is it written, you know? And there's tons of them out there. You can go
like
and binge watch.
Versus Captain Crunch.
Yeah, exactly.
There's so
Pikachu's tail having the black coloring on the end
because
versus
I remember that because I had a toy that had that on there, and it's not there anymore.
Looney Tunes versus Looney Tunes, like TUNES, TONS, and the Fruit of Loom logo having the Cornucopia versus. I remember the Cornucopia,
dude.
It doesn't have it anymore, by the way. But here's the thing. I remember specifically, and this is why I believe in the Mandela Effect, because of my personal experiences, and that's kind of the crazy thing about it, is because since memory is so unreliable, it's like, But here's the thing. I only knew of what a cornucopia was because it was on my underwear, and I asked my parents what that thing was, and they told me it was a cornucopia. So there was no point in my life where I would have gotten that information from anywhere else as a little kid.
You know what's really wild? Somebody wrote the creator of Fruit of Loom saying like, wasn't there a cornucopia on your logo?
That's a spirally thing.
That's where Thanksgiving tables, crap like that.
Yeah,
and
it's
even
nowhere.
And even the creator of Fruit of Loom himself said like, yeah, I remember there being a cornucopia. So the owner of the company, So what happened is a random person who heard and believed in the Mandela Effect wrote the owner and founder of Fruit of Loom a letter stating, I could swear, bro, that you had a cornucopia on your logo.
Yeah.
And he replies back, the owner and founder of Fruit of Loom replies back like, yeah, I remember one too. So the actual founder of the company remembers a core piece of the logo that is not present anymore.
Yeah, and the worst part is...
not.
And the worst part is...
I cannot believe that.
With the Mandela Effect, it's as if like your reality clashes with another one or something slightly changes. Because if you go and look, you go and look to like Google and you type in Fruit of the Loom logo, you can't find an actual official logo with the cornucopia on it anymore.
It just doesn't exist.
No longer
I'm gonna go to like some Goodwill, find some old ass stores, and I'm gonna prove
people have done things like that. Sometimes they find things and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they will find like those copies, and sometimes they won't.
On like a separate tag? No, because it was on the band.
No, it was on the band. It was on the tags. It was everywhere.
Because I found out what a loom was, right? And then I was like, oh, that's because fruit.
Fruit of Loom.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I only knew what that was because I asked about it because it was on my underwear.
See, and we can tie this into AIs. How do we know we're not in the Matrix being controlled by AI? That's legit. Like it could be a theory, like straight up.
But here's the one I was going to bring up before we got sidetracked, which we often do because
we're going to get sidetracked.
So the fact that you brought that up when you said the quote that do not worship any other false god.
Yeah.
Because the quote, how's the quote go? I don't.
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know it word for word, but the gist is that you don't worship false gods. You don't worship false prophets. Like I am the one true God.
Because I am the one true God, or like because our God or something like that is a jealous God, right? That was the thing.
Right.
Here's the crazy thing.
That's right.
Any of you out there right now, either go on Google or open up your Bible. That verse has changed. And it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Really?
The quote now Look it up right now. The quote now is, this isn't going to be 100% verbatim, is do not worship any other god because, like something like your God, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God. At what fucking point was God's name jealous? And why is that the official verse now? Look it up. Look, I'm serious. Look it up. Look it up. People have, this person opened up her Bible. Her mom opened up her Bible, who was given from her grandmother. So this thing is at least 56 years old, and that is now the quote in that Bible.
What?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. We've never talked about that. If this was something that was, like, you know, has always existed like that, more people would be like, yeah, God's name is jealous. Like, that would have been a conversation topic. Or people like, yeah, that's the name of God. God is jealous, right? It doesn't make any sense. And that quote seems weird and off in and of itself. Like, that doesn't
it just sounds off.
For one, it's redundant, you know?
Yeah.
But two, like, God's name being jealous, and he's a jealous God.
Did you find it?
So this is.
You know what I mean? You don't have a Bible app installed on your phone?
I do.
There you go.
I do.
It's a Hebrew translation. It's Old Hebrew, which again, I don't think we should ever like take anything out of the Torah as real, because we don't know how to read the Torah, because Old Hebrew doesn't have vowels and we read New Hebrew with vowels. So any translation of the old text cannot be. That's why we don't say God's name. You might have heard me talk about this before.
I think so, yeah.
We don't say God's name because we don't have the vowels for it, right? So people have a name for it, and they say that, but we're not allowed to say it, and we can just call him Hashem, which means the name, okay? But it says, thou shalt now have no other gods before on my face. That's a Hebrew translation.
Yes.
Hebrew.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, that's...
How do
So,
we get on the topic again?
I'm sure...
Because you brought up
right.
God thing,
The-
and then
the-
I was
yeah,
like, oh,
the-
Mandela
the- yeah,
Effect.
the God
Here, I
thing.
got you. Let's go to Bible.com. And then, I don't know the, I'll just type in jealous God, and it should take
Let
me
us
to the
go
passage.
and worship other gods, gods that neither you nor your ancestors have known, gods of the people around you, whether near or far, from one end of the land to the other. Do not yield to them or listen to them. Show them no pity. Do not spare them or shield them.
Oh, here we go. Exodus 34:14. You must worship no other gods, for the Lord, whose very name is jealous, is a God who is jealous about his relationship with you.
Huh.
That has changed.
I know that. I don't,
I don't remember.
That at no point has anyone. This is from Bible. This is from Bible.com. Exodus 34:14. If you have a Bible or if you go to the website, look it up. That is what it is now. And I swear to God, I swear to jealous, it has never been that before.
That's
because
so weird.
someone would have said it. Like no one has ever called God jealous. And this is like from the Christian Bible, right? So you would think that like Christians, if there's any Christians out there, have you ever heard this verse? I
want to hear this in the comment section, because there's one thing Christians have. It's an excuse for anything. So I'm sure they'll have some path of logic or pathological, path of logic to like kind of dismay that.
Because, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that the Christians ever had an actual name for God, except for just calling him God, right?
Well,
I mean,
like Christians themselves.
God was three entities in one. He was God. He was the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So he was the Father.
Yeah,
but he's also the Son.
Yeah,
and the Holy Spirit.
But those are like titles, not like a name.
He didn't. Right? I mean, I don't believe he ever had a name.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in other religions that he does. But that's what it is now. And it's really interesting because it's like, that's never been a thing. No one that I've ever met. But no one that I've ever met has ever been like, oh yeah, did you know God's name is jealous? And he's a jealous God.
So if I'm reading this right, the Hebrew word is kanai, right? And it means jealous, fanatical, zealous, which makes sense for the religion, rabid, and possessive.
So wait, you mean to tell me that it's also changed within a country?
Well, again, the Hebrew word can mean all those different words. And so if you were to say God's name is, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing this, I do think my Hebrew's pretty up to book, but kanai, right? And then you're like, oh, he's fanatical. Okay, that makes sense. That would make sense.
Wild.
Oh, zealous.
Did you find it in your Bible?
I did. It was this wild.
Isn't that?
Should we switch topics? Isn't that the kind of thing you can get canceled over?
Well, no, because we're not talking. We're not
No.
debating whether or not like it exists or anything. We're just talking about an interesting thing that happened within religion. Which
we're still talking about a Mandela effect. That
Yeah.
happens at times.
Because this is all kind of tying into like our topic, right? Like our topic for today is like AI things and stuff regarding
with
that.
everything being on the internet and books going more and more out of style, right? Eventually, the whole history book could be changed in a millisecond by whoever wants to change it.
Yeah.
And we've already seen
It's
that.
possible.
The victors write the history books.
Yeah, history is written by the victors. It's
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah. And maybe, let's look that up on the Mandela. No. And,
Oh, shit.
but it's actually Black Ops 1.
You never know.
But it's really interesting because, like, if we go further and further away from hard copies, and hard copies are not accurate. Because, you know, everything's a transliteration of something, and then it changes, or like,
Things get
I have
changed
an
over
idea
time.
about this. I'm going to change this one word, or I'm going to move this period, or I'm going to move this vowel, or something
Exactly.
like that. Or I'm going to miswrite this, or get smudged, or whatever, right? There's so much human error in that. But if we follow these tomes, these books and everything, and then everything becomes digitalized, all of history can change in one generation.
Yeah, it's true.
And it would only take the next generation not to read a paper book to then everything change.
Yeah,
And
and
it'd be
that's the
slow.
crazy
It's
thing.
it's
slow.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Like it's the whole thing that it could even be a possibility is what's scary. Like,
Yeah.
Like,
We're not-
would it likely happen? Probably not, but it is possible.
Imagine history being taught by Spark Notes.
Yeah.
If you guys know what Spark Notes is, it's like a summarization of books. You use it for high school to cheat through your classes.
Yeah. Wish I had that one.
Yeah, Spark Notes was amazing.
I wish I had this AI thing. I could have wrote. You know, I might actually go to college now because I could. When they like 5,000 word paper, I'd be like, all right, write me 1,000, 5,000. Yeah, it's like.
I'm sure it is being done, and they're just not telling the teachers.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sure it's being done. I'm sure people are using AI to make money, make books, make art, make. It's being monetized.
And that's the crazy thing. And to me, right?
I would love to make like a video on that and like start posting poetry or posting like AI created scripts and stuff, and just seeing the reaction and people how they like it.
You actually
Because
can.
you can.
There's a way to do it.
No, I know. I would like to make a video on that. Like,
You should do it.
Like,
yeah,
do
no,
it.
that'd be fun.
You could have the AI write the whole video script for you.
Yeah.
The title of this podcast, this video right now that you're watching, was generated by an AI. So I mean,
It hasn't yet been, but it will be.
yeah, I'm going to type it in after this. Whatever,
Yeah.
I'll ask it for 10 ideas. I'll use the best one, just like I did with Stream.